One-foot-flipper.
A lot of good tools, but I don't know anything about tools. At least not about vintage ones. Probably nobody else here does either, which is why they're all still here.
I think you should go to the Toy Man show. Because sometimes I start digging through like bins of stuff and I find all these little cool things. You might find something.
Okay, I will think about it.
Yeah, my brother, he always has a booth there, and it's every other month. So they just had one last week, and there'll be one in March. Or no, wait, yeah, March. What month is it? And I have such a blast though. It's very nostalgic too. You know, like oh, I had one of these when I was a kid, and I mean everybody that goes has a blast because there's something there for everybody. You know?
I'd probably go and end up filming it and buying things I'm not actually going to make any money on, which is okay. That's what I did earlier this morning. They had a sale in Kirkwood in the community center, and I knew it was going to be all flea market vendors. I just knew it, and I was 100% right. So I bought the most interesting looking things I could find that I could hopefully at least sell for the exact same amount of money. I don't tend to do good in free-for-all situations because my limited mobility, and you know, younger, faster people who are more able tend to get to the great stuff first.
I bring kids. My mom took him next door, but I have my kids, so I get it. It's like I can't go in and elbow people out of the way. I got to make sure he's not getting elbowed. So
could you hand me that phone back there?
That's awesome. Here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we're gonna go next.
What's that?
That's asking to be restored.
Right, is that a Nyland?
Is it a what now?
Nyland, the brand, or is that Ertl? Or can you not even see anymore?
It's that very generic. There's no label on there of any manufacturer. No, nothing. I was going to say Tonka, but I don't even know what it's that. It's got
there's something on it. It will belong to Daryl. It's got a number down there. I bet if I type that in, it either would bring it right up or would get no results.
I wouldn't care who made it. I'd restore it. Because you just take the thing apart, add new screws, sand it down.
Right, sand it down, you repaint it.
And put it back together again. And then you put it on the shelf. That's what that is. $10 you could, it costs you
Yeah, somebody's going to pick that up.
Well, it needs a new shred over here. That one's worn out. You can actually, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, I know they make reproduction parts for a lot of these things. Because sometimes I've bought, you know, bunches of things like this, and they'll be loose parts, and I'll go to sell them and find out there's also reproduction parts.
Well, they do it for real cars.
Okay.
Why wouldn't they do it for that, you know?
All right, well, apparently my wife says we're going, so nice meeting you. Oh, pardon me, sir. Sorry. Pardon me. Sometimes it's just best to concentrate on the type of sourcing that works best for you. Flea markets and community sales, I don't do as good as those mainly because, well, other than the fact that the prices tend to be very poor, is that because the prices are poor, you have to pore over every single item, and I can't stand up long enough to do that. So when I'm at a flea market or a similar situation, I tend to stay in my lane as far as the items I go for and what I buy, and most of the time it ends up being not worth my time. I usually bring home some profit, but when I figure it all out, it wasn't worth it. Not at all. I do much better even at the Goodwill bins, because at least I know I know anything I reach for is not going to have a bad price there. So I do fine there. Do even better at garage sales, because There's not competition usually, or at least not 50 other people reaching for the same things. Often hasn't been picked over yet if I'm one of the first people there, but I do my best in buying collections. So that's my biggest concentration. I haven't had a huge collection buy other than those records since I've started the channel, but we're hoping to see one soon here. And I like it when stuff comes directly to me. I'll pay more when stuff comes to me because then I don't have to look for it. And I enjoy the people who do bring me stuff. Like, got somebody who lives in my neighborhood, Janie. She brings me these gourds, and as they sell, I pay her for every one. Now, unfortunately, I do get a lot of messages from people who want bulk deals on these gourds, but I'm not really able to do that because I pay Janie pretty well for those compared to what they sell for, and they're high labor. They take a long time to list and pack and ship, and they're not. If I start cutting into it, it's not worth my time. So I usually have to tell those people, the best I can do is buy 4 of them. I can usually get 4 of them into one big box before it starts going into dimensional weight, and I'll send back the extra money on shipping. That's the best I'm going to be able to do. No, I can't sell them all to you in one shot for $7 each. That doesn't work out. So it's been an amazing couple of days of sales. I had almost a $1,500 day yesterday. Today's a little below average, but still I think I'm at about 200 so far. Most of these I'm going to have to pop up on the screen because I've either already shipped them or I didn't pull them. Sold Rocket Beach Bandits, Nintendo GameCube, $9.99. Ooh, sold tons and tons of cards because I listed about 150 Pokemon cards and about 50 other cards at good prices, and these sales of them have been rolling in. That was part of the $1,500 day. The cards really contributed to that. They weren't all of it, but. And speaking of cards, I got a message from a buyer wanting to get a bulk deal on 20 Pokemon cards. And some people would think that's great, but I don't. Not at all. Because these are cards that I already priced. They're in-demand cards that I already priced at the best prices on the market. This person's wanting a bulk deal, which is putting all my Pokemon risk into one person. And in this case, this person lives in Chile. So unfortunately, I had to block that customer because the last thing I want is 20 cards getting shipped to Chile and then me losing the money on them. I don't even want to sell 20 Pokemon cards at once of value to a single normal customer. Pokemon customers in general are high risk, and I would rather just spread the risk out. Kevin would be proud. I sold a Tupperware deli bacon storage lid, $4.04 plus shipping. I sold a Blitzkrieg 1940 war game, missing all the vehicles and the unit cards, $22.94. War game buyers do weird stuff, like take all the vehicles out. Sold a Force of Will Valentine's Day playmat. Maybe I'll pop a picture of the well-endowed young lady that's on this playmat, 2016. Like 2 of those in the last week, which makes sense since Valentine's Day is coming up. And I've made no plans whatsoever. I need to fix that. I can't forget about that every year. Not if I want to... I'm not going to say if I want to stay married, but if I want to stay happily married. Issue of Nintendo Power, $6.82 with... looks like Mario Paint and Felix the Cat on the cover. Made a few mistakes recently too. Or my returns and everything always seem to come in 3s. The first one was earlier this week, just a missing card. For some reason lately, all the ones that are getting lost are ones that are more than $2. They don't seem to lose the $2 ones anymore. They seem to like to lose the $6 and the $10 ones. It was a missing card, and the customer put in the request far too soon for me to have any chance of recovering that insurance money, because eBay, in their infinite wisdom, they provide insurance on those card orders, but you can't make the claim for 30 days. However, they allow the customers to make the item not received claim much, much sooner than that. And I found it very difficult to get the customer to send me that message, time-stamped after 30 days, that they hadn't received their card once I've already refunded them. Never had a single one do it, even the ones who promised they would. And I've also been bitten by the ones who said they'll just wait and who then instead hit that escalate claim to eBay button. So never again on that. I continue to block anyone who opens a claim on a card or on, usually on anything, but specifically on a card. If they don't message me first, I don't ever want their business again. This sold in minutes, which surprised me. Topps TV cartoon tattoos. It wasn't even a complete pack or anything. $6.99. Oh, I've got to scroll through so many cards. Here was the big boy yesterday. 1998 Warhammer 40,000. Armorcast Revan Imperial Reaver Titan. This is a Warhammer thing, but he's about that tall. And he sold for $675 plus shipping. And I sent that one with delivery signature confirmation. Kind of annoyed me. It would have been $10 cheaper UPS, but I already had it packed up with in a priority box, and I didn't see another proper box nearby, and I had a whole bunch of stuff going on, so I just shipped it in the box that already was on. Sold a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Normally I don't mention that, but normally I don't sell Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But apparently I bought some about 1.5 years ago, never listed them. Listed 7 cards last night, sold 5 of them within minutes. Apparently Yu-Gi-Oh customers are deal hounds. I listed all of these cards $1 below the cheapest available in the same condition, and woo, they just disappeared. Except for the other 2, those haven't sold yet. I sold another tray of Flames of War tanks, vehicles. This one was artillery. Oh, so many cards here. An $80.99 role-playing game item, Rollmaster Companion 6. The Rollmaster Companion books, there are 6 of them, and they seem to increase in price steadily from number 1 to number 6. I think that's probably because most people were buying the things in order. And the earliest ones were in print for the longest amount of times. I think I sold one for only the first one for $10, and the last one sold for $80. I sold 2 different lots of California Raisins PVC figurines. Try to pop them both up there. Sold some little war game books, Flames of War, Know Your Enemy, $8.99. Oh, and then my problems always come in 3s. I also sold a Leonard Skinner 2-record set. I didn't notice that the second record, which was indeed a Leonard Skinner record, but it wasn't the one that went in that set. But the customer got it, and they messaged me, and I looked at the pictures. Yeah, it was obvious that the second record was the wrong record, so I just refunded them. That person I did not block, because that's completely my fault, and it didn't seem unreasonable. Oh, also, and they didn't put a claim in. They just messaged me first. That's the big deal. If you message me first, I don't think you're unreasonable, so I'm not going to block you usually. And then my final third screw up is, put this up on the screen here, the hand-carved gourd tortilla warmer. The lid managed to break in shipping somehow, which amazed me because I've shipped so many gourds and they seem to be indestructible. I don't ship them that way, but I almost believe you could just put them in a poly bag and they'd get there safely, but not this one. Apparently the lid broke. I sold some Chaos Death Galleys, Warhammer Man of War, $26.99. About 50 more cards. The stack of cards I put in the mailbox this morning was that tall. Or, sorry, the stack of envelopes with cards in them. Best of the James Gang, LP, Joe Walsh, $3.36, barely worth it. Okay, and I think that is all I've really got for today. I'm very much concentrating on trying to burn through the worst parts of my death pile, the things that I've been putting off, to either throw things away or get them up and listed so I can be ready for garage sale season to actually get the good stuff, or if I can have the room available if a good collection comes along, because I would really love to get another good collection, and I bet you'd all like to see it. And now I think I'm done. Thanks. Hope to see you again soon.